All right, let's talk about something really cool. We're going to pull back the curtain on what makes some writing just so easy to read. You know what I'm talking about. And here's the kicker. It has almost nothing to do with the words themselves. So let's get into it.
I mean, you've totally had this experience, right? You pick up a book, maybe an article online, and it's like your eyes just flow across the words. It doesn't even feel like reading. It feels like someone's just talking to you. You're not struggling with it. You're just taking it all in. So what's the secret sauce? What's that magic?
Well, think about writers like Haruki Murakami, or maybe you've read The Courage to be Disliked by Fumitake Koga. If you have, you know exactly what I mean. Their stuff is it's just so easy to get through in the best way possible. But the reason why it flows so well?
Yeah, it's probably not what you're thinking.
Right, so when we think great writing, our minds usually jump to things like big words, fancy sentence structures, or a killer plot. And look, all that stuff matters for sure. But the real secret? The thing that makes something readable? It's something you feel instantly, before you've even read a single word.
Yep, you heard that right. That first impression, that, oh, I can read this feeling, it's got almost nothing to do with what the words are actually saying. It's about something totally different. It's all visual. And that's the big reveal. The secret is design. The best writers out there, they aren't just writers, they're designers. They're actually architecting the page so it looks inviting. They literally build their text to look easy to read.
Okay, so what do I even mean by design when we're talking about writing? It's that gut feeling you get when you first look at a page. It's how it looks at a glance. It's the white space, the shape of the paragraphs, all the visual cues that make your brain go, hey, I can handle this, before you even start.
Look, I could sit here and talk your ear off about this, but it's way, way better if I just show you. So let's take a look at a passage from the legendary Haruki Murakami. We're going to see just how powerful a little design change can be. Okay, so take a look at this. It's just a brick wall of text. Be honest, what's your immediate reaction? Do you feel excited to jump in? Probably not, right? The source material we're looking at calls this the ugh moment. And it's so true. The words in there are genius, but the design is basically telling you to run away. And now, look at this. Same exact words, not a single one changed. But wow, what a difference, right? The line breaks let your eyes breathe. That last bit is set apart, so it really pops. All of a sudden, it's not a chore anymore. It's an invitation. This is the power of design in a nutshell. It makes the text look beautiful before you even know what it says. And you know what the best part is? This isn't some secret magic trick that only famous authors can do. Nope. You can start doing this with your own writing, like today. So let's break down 3 super simple, practical things you can do to make everything you write way more readable. Okay, here's the game plan. We're going to talk about using simpler words, making friends with white space, and dropping in a catchy sentence every now and then to keep things interesting. Think of this as your new writing toolkit. All right, step 1, keep your words simple. So this is pretty cool. The source material points out that in Japanese, the best writers mix complex characters, those are called kanji, with a much simpler script called hiragana. It creates a visual balance. And guess what? We can do the exact same thing in English. So instead of trying to sound all fancy and academic, just pick the simpler word. Like, don't say utilize when you can just say use. Instead of regarding, how about just about? It makes your writing feel so much lighter, so much more direct, and honestly, it actually makes you sound more confident and professional. Okay, number 2, and this one is a huge one. You have got to embrace white space. Remember that block of text from before? It was just tiring to look at, right? That's because our eyes had nowhere to rest. Seriously, the enter key is about to become your new best friend. So here's a super practical rule for you. After about 4 or 5 lines of text, just hit enter. Create a new paragraph. Why 4 or 5? Well, that's pretty much the point where our eyes start to get fatigued. It seems like such a tiny thing, but believe me, it has a massive impact on keeping your reader locked in. All right, and our final tool for the toolkit, toss in a catchy sentence. Think of it like adding a pinch of cayenne pepper to a dish. You know, most of your writing is going to be nice and clear and straightforward, but every now and then you drop in one line that just makes the reader stop and go, whoa, okay, that's interesting. And if we go back to that Murakami example, this is exactly what he does. That line is set off by itself, it's totally out of left field, and bam, it just snaps you back to attention. One single sharp sentence like that can be the hook that pulls a reader back in right when their mind starts to wander.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Write for the eyes first. It's a simple idea, but for a lot of us, it's kind of revolutionary. Worry about how it looks before you get totally obsessed with what it says.
At the end of the day, designing your writing is really just an act of empathy. It's you showing respect for your readers' time and their attention. You're basically saying, hey, I want to make this easy for you. And all those little changes we talked about, the simple words, the line breaks, that one catchy sentence, they all add up. They make a massive difference in how people connect with what you have to say.
So, I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. Go find the last email you sent or a report you wrote. Just pull it up. Now, what's one tiny design change you can make right now? Can you break up a paragraph? Swap out a complicated word? Just find one thing you can do to make it a little easier on the eyes and a whole lot more inviting to read.